So hello there and welcome to another episode of Beer Club, and today we are at the Yorkshire Craft Beer Festival here at Yorkshire Craft Beers for some good times, some good food and hopefully some good beer as well. Now, a beer festival can often be quite an overwhelming experience, and the urge to jump right in and try everything is natural. For example, here at the Yorkshire Craft Beer Festival, there were 22 different beers in total across 6 cask lines and 16 keg lines. And yeah, you probably would want to try them all. But before you do that, or before you start thinking about attending a beer festival yourself over the summer, allow us to provide you with our top 10 tips on enjoying as well as surviving a craft beer festival. Number 1, know your tolerance. Tolerance is key to these events, and you should get to know yours before you go. How much beer can you handle? Where is that sweet spot for you, where you're just nicely drunk enough to enjoy the vibes, yet still know what's going on around you? And of course, recognising when it's time to take a break. It's also an idea to get a good night's sleeping beforehand, as well as something to eat and drink before you go to the festival, as this will also impact how much you can handle. Number 2, don't drink before you get there. So the important thing with a beer festival is not to have a drink before you come here. I mean, by all means, have a drink of something that's non-alcoholic, you know, like drink some water before you enter the festival, that way you're coming in here with a clear head. But what you don't want to be doing is having a few pints before you get here. The last thing you want before, entering a beer festival, where you're going to be here for a few hours admittedly, is to be already well on your way to being tipsy. It'll spoil your enjoyment of the place, and to be honest, they might end up chucking you out if you're already well into your cups. Also, don't make the mistake that I did, which was go out for drinks the night before, because, I was suffering a bit this morning before I turned up. Learn from my mistakes, Number 3, get in there and back. And speaking of getting there, best thing to do about getting to a beer festival is not to drive there yourself. Either sort out a taxi or an Uber in good time, or get someone to take you there, family member, friend, take you there and drop you off. That way you don't have to worry about it yourself. You really don't want to be the designated driver on this trip, and ideally you want to be getting there as soon as possible for the start. That way you won't be waiting for your first couple of beers. It also means you'll get a chance to talk to some of the various brewers and discuss their different beers with them. It also means that you'll be first in line for the queue for the food as well. Number 4, pace yourself. One of the most important things to do at a beer festival is to pace yourself. Now, let's make this clear. If you're attending a beer festival just for the sole intention of getting drunk, then you should probably just stay at home or just go to the pub. Beer festivals are not a piss up in a brewery, or a drinking marathon, or a frat party. What they are is an excellent opportunity to sample and appreciate a variety of different beers and to expand your horizons and your palate. So in other words, moderation is key, and although you might want to start off your day with a 10% chocolate and fudge porter like what Ian's got, you might want to sort of build up to that. We've started off with what's the Vocation one called? Chop and change, which is
that's
4.5%. So
10%, it's at least half of that.
But you might want to start off on one that's of a lower ABV and then build your way up to the big ones. It's not a marathon, it's not a sprint, Just take your time and smell the roses, or smell the beer in this case.
Marathons anymore, are they? Snickers.
Number 5, talk to the brewers. If you're unsure about what to drink, then just ask the brewer themselves. They're not just here to pour you some pints, but also to talk about and to promote their beers, promote their brewery. You might even get a couple of interesting stories out of it. And you'll likely end up trying something a little more niche than what you might normally have. Try to make sure that by the time you leave the festival, you've gotten something out of it other than a free t-shirt or a free glass, or the likelihood of a hangover the morning after. Speaking of which, number 6, keep hydrated. Whilst we're on the subject of hangovers, let's talk about water. Yes, it might seem boring, and yes, you might get the piss taken out of you a little bit by your mates. But seriously, drink plenty of water and keep hydrated. You cannot get enough water in your system. Water is your friend. So maybe after every couple of pints, you drink some water as well. It will keep you cool and refreshed. It's an excellent palate cleanser, and of course it will also lower the chance of you getting a stinker of a hangover the following morning, just in case you decided to completely ignore tip number 4. Number 7, try sour beers. Another good palate cleanser are sour beers. They also tend to have a low ABV as well, so you can quite comfortably drink a few of these throughout the day. Also, it adds a bit of variety to the beers you'll be trying out. You might even come across something that you wouldn't normally try. Not to mention, if you're on Untapped, it will also look quite good on there as well. Number 8, eat. So one important thing to do while you're at the festival, make sure you get something to eat as well. It's very important if you're going to be here for a few hours that you need something to soak up the booze. Now a lot of beer festivals, we tend to have food stalls, food vans, food courts. At this one that we're at, they're doing sausage rolls, they're doing pies, they're doing loaded fries. As you can see, Josh has made short work of his sausage roll there. So yeah, and we've got all kinds of things. We've got pies, loaded fries, sausage rolls, all sorts of things like that. So it's very important that have something to eat before you come to the festival, and make sure you have something to eat whilst you're at the festival. Nobody wants to drink on an empty stomach. It does not end well if you do.
No. Don't come off any pain medication.
Right, I'll have to go grab a pie now.
Well,
A pie and a pint. Number 9, dress for the occasion. Beer festivals tend to be hot and sweaty places. They tend to be quite warm, and of course there's also beer farts to look out for. So it's important to dress for the occasion. Hence, it's nice to have maybe like a thin shirt or t-shirt on, and I can't recommend enough wearing shorts.
put your legs away.
I've got good legs. And it's just to get my legs on camera. Number 10, check your socials. So I mentioned Untapped earlier on. Make sure you stay on top of that, as well as all your other socials, whatever the festival's been held on, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Stay on that, because you might get details of something that's going on at the festival. Plus, it also looks really good as well when you're like telling everyone about what a great time you're having, and those who haven't come have missed out on. So yeah, you go on your socials, but not when you're meant to be chatting. Everyone get off your phone and talk. Look at this. Get off your bloody phones and talk to me.
Yes, the guy Sam filming on his phone.
Always believe that you are gold. Always something I'm in love. You're indestructible. Always believe that.
Clinking is common. The clink like that. Clink.
Get off my fucking
Oh no! We're all commoners.
So those were our tips for surviving a craft beer festival. But what do the other people think that work and have come to the craft beer festival? What are their tips for surviving this? We had to find out.
They should know what they're doing. Should.
Don't order pints for a start. Always go thirds or halves. Day like today, suntan lotion, hat, and plenty of water.
Sun cream, hat, start sessionable, eat, hit the big stuff.
Brilliant.
That's good, yeah.
Excellent.
I was going to say, everything you said, we've done the complete opposite.
Always start with 12% stouts, and word of advice to anybody, any beer's a session beer, depends how long your session is.
Brilliant.
Pace yourself. Start with the lighter beers first and work towards the stouts.
Eat food. food, plenty of food. Always a good idea.
Suntan cream
Yeah.
in this weather.
Yep.
Pace yourself. Pace yourself.
Pace yourself.
Start off at a moderately low percentage and then work your way up higher. You start high, you will not last the day.
Fair point, and plenty of food.
Yeah. Don't chew something that's a massive high percentage. Chew something that's a very like session ale.
What, like 8.5?
8.5. Yeah, that's sound.
That's my tip to surviving. Just carry on drinking till you can't.
I reckon that you should get yourself comfortable in a chair and drink as much best at beer that you can ever drink, and listen to one of the top bands that's playing.
So
That's what I reckon. Unfortunately, this isn't one of the best bands, but but you know, I think you could enjoy it nicely out here. It's lovely.
Simply get behind a drum kit and sweat your bollocks off, and it sweats out. Drink as much as you like. It's mint.
Pace yourself.
Pace yourself.
Pace yourself. Half pints instead of pints. Don't do too many of the really strong ones all in one go. Try and pace yourself out like that. Don't forget to have some water. Go to the toilet. Don't get too in the sunshine too much. Make sure you be sensible. Eat as well. Make sure you've eaten. And before you come to the festival, the most important thing, have a big breakfast. Get yourself sorted out before you leave the house.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, thank you. So we have had a lovely time at the Yorkshire Craft Beer Festival. We hope you've enjoyed watching the video. You hope you've got more of a feel for it. The last tip I would say before leaving is don't get so drunk that you end up doing something like this.
Well.
What the fuck have you got there? Unless you will, in which case that's just really funny.
That's just really funny. Most people don't do that. Don't do that.
But if you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Click the notification bell to be notified of whenever I have a new video up for you to watch. Share this video across all your various social media related type gubbins. And whilst you're at it, you may as well follow me on my social media stuff as well. But until next time, I am the Big Daddy D, David Mabley. This has been Josh Bray. We're saying goodbye from the Yorkshire Craft Beer Festival. Thank you very much for stopping by the channel, and we'll catch you again next time. You might get some interesting facts. You might end up trying something a little bit niche that you wouldn't normally try. The important thing is, don't be afraid to ask and enjoy. And that's Josh picking up the big menu that just flew past me. Oh dear, that's staying in.
You look at my house.